Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. How often do you stop and think about the power of the words you speak? Most people underestimate one of the most potent tools they already possess, the ability to create their own reality simply through what they say. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds. They either plant life, growth, and opportunity, or they plant doubt, fear, and limitation. If you've ever felt stuck, overlooked, or unable to break through in life, I want you to realize that your words might be the key to unlocking the doors you've been knocking on for years. And here's the hook. What you speak repeatedly will determine what you experience repeatedly. If you want to understand why some people seem to attract success effortlessly while others struggle year after year, you must begin with this simple truth: your words shape your reality. Most people underestimate the power of what they say. They think words are harmless, just sounds that pass from their mouth and fade into the air. But that is a dangerous illusion. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Every word you speak carries energy, intention, and influence. What you say repeatedly begins to condition your mind, influence your behavior, and create the environment around you. The first hook you need to grasp is this: the words you speak today are building your tomorrow, whether you realize it or not. Think about the statements you make about yourself. How often do you hear people say, "I can't do this," "I'm not good enough," or "It's impossible for me"? Every time those words leave your mouth, they are not just expressing a temporary thought. They are programming your subconscious mind to act in alignment with limitation. That is why so many people work hard all their lives and never see the breakthroughs they desire. They are unknowingly reinforcing the very barriers they complain about. But when you start speaking words that affirm possibility, success, and capability, something shifts. You begin to see solutions where you once saw obstacles. You begin to take actions that align with your new reality. That is the hook. The moment your words change, your world begins to change. Words also influence your mindset. If you constantly say, "I can't," "I won't," or "I don't have," your brain becomes trained to filter for evidence that confirms those statements. This is why some people feel stuck. They are living in a world shaped by their own speech. But when you choose words of faith, encouragement, and vision, your mind begins to search for ways to make those words true. Say, "I am capable," "I am resourceful," or "I will succeed," and you will begin to notice opportunities that were invisible before. The hook here is that words don't just communicate. They focus your perception, and perception determines reality. Let's take it a step further. Words influence not only your thoughts, but your actions. If you say, "I am confident," your behavior aligns with confidence. If you say, "I will overcome this challenge," your energy shifts from hesitation to determination. The body and mind respond to words because they are instructions. Every declaration is a command to your subconscious, and your subconscious controls 95% of your behavior. This is why deliberate, intentional speech is the foundation of achievement. People often try to change their lives by changing their routines, but the real power lies in changing their words first. Here's another hook that will make you rethink everything Your words affect not just you, but everyone around you. When you speak positively to others, encouraging them, affirming their potential, you are creating a ripple effect of possibility. Influence flows outward. People are naturally drawn to energy that uplifts and empowers. Conversely, negative, fearful, or defeatist words repel opportunity and reinforce limitation. Your speech can be your most powerful tool or your most destructive weapon, depending on how intentionally you use it. Finally, consider the principle that the world responds to what is declared. What you call out in faith consistently starts to manifest. This is not magic. It is cause and effect. Speak growth, speak opportunity, speak solutions, speak courage, and you begin to act in ways that make those words reality. The first step in creating the life you desire is to take control of your language. Your words are building blocks, and if you don't choose them wisely, someone else's limitations will become yours. But when you speak with purpose, intention, and belief, your words pave the way, your actions align, and doors open where walls once stood. When it comes to creating a life of success, one of the most overlooked principles is the power of focusing your words on possibilities rather than problems. Most people speak from a place of limitation, constantly highlighting what they can't do, what won't work, and why life is against them. That language, repeated over time, conditions the mind to look for obstacles instead of solutions. Here's the first hook you need to understand. The quality of your life is directly tied to the quality of the words you consistently speak. If your vocabulary revolves around problems, you are building a mindset that attracts more problems. But if your words focus on solutions, opportunities, and growth, you are literally creating a pathway for progress and breakthroughs. Think about the successful people you admire. They rarely talk about the impossibility of a situation. Instead, their language is charged with vision and determination. They ask questions like, how can I make this work? What resources can I bring together to create a solution? And who can help me achieve this goal? That mindset, expressed through deliberate speech, trains the brain to search for answers instead of dwelling on limitations. The hook here is powerful. When you speak possibility, your mind begins scanning for ways to turn that possibility into reality, and suddenly doors begin to appear that you didn't even know existed. Here's another perspective. When you focus on problems, your energy gets trapped in fear, doubt, and indecision. Words are not just empty phrases. They carry energy and intention. Every time you say, I can't, or this is too hard, you are feeding a mental loop that keeps you stagnant. But when you say, I can figure this out, there's a way, or I will succeed, your energy shifts from scarcity to creativity. Your brain, now aligned with possibility, starts connecting dots, seeing options, and creating strategies that were invisible when you were focused on the problem. That shift in energy is the difference between being stuck and making a breakthrough. Let's make this more practical. Imagine you are facing a business challenge, a personal setback, or a financial roadblock. You can either declare, this is impossible, or there is a way if I find it. Those are not just words. They are instructions to your subconscious mind. Repeating, this is impossible, reinforces limitation and inaction. Repeating, there is a way, primes you to act, to seek solutions, and to persist until you succeed. The hook here is simple, but profound. The words you choose in the moment of challenge shape the results you will get. Words also influence perception. When you speak from a place of possibility, others respond differently to you. They see you as solution-oriented, confident, and proactive. People want to work with, invest in, and support those who are focused on opportunities, not problems. Conversely, when your words constantly emphasize obstacles, fear, or negativity, you repel support, collaboration, and resources. Your language sets the tone for how others perceive you and whether they are willing to align with your vision. Here's one more powerful truth. Speaking possibilities is not wishful thinking. It is strategic creation. The wealthy and influential understand that language creates momentum. They don't ignore problems, they face them, but they articulate them in terms of solutions. They ask questions, frame statements positively, and project confidence in what can be done. That skill turns challenges into opportunities, resistance into growth, and vision into reality. The bottom line is this: your words are either building walls or creating bridges. Focus on speaking possibilities, solutions, and potential. Let every statement you make point toward growth, abundance, and opportunity. Train yourself to see problems as temporary and solvable, and watch as your world begins to reflect the language you use. Speak possibility consistently, and doors that once seemed closed will begin to open. Your words don't just affect your mindset, they also influence the people around you, and that influence can be the difference between opportunity and stagnation. Most people underestimate how much power their speech has over relationships, leadership, and influence in every area of life. Think about it: when someone speaks with confidence, vision, and positivity, people are naturally drawn to them. Conversely, when someone speaks fear, doubt, or negativity, it repels opportunity and can even undermine their credibility. Here's the first hook you need to understand: your words are a magnet, attracting people, resources, and opportunities, or pushing them away, depending on how intentionally you use them. Every interaction you have carries the potential to either create momentum or generate resistance. When you speak life into others, affirming their potential and inspiring them to see solutions, you become a source of opportunity. Leaders, mentors, and successful people know that influence is cultivated through deliberate, positive communication. They do not underestimate a word, a phrase, or a declaration. One encouraging word can spark action, build confidence, and open doors that would have remained closed if spoken differently. That is the hook. The influence of your words extends far beyond what you immediately see. Think about the ripple effect of your language. In your workplace, family, or community, the words you use set a tone. Words of encouragement generate cooperation, trust, and collaboration. Words of complaint, cynicism, or fear generate division, doubt, and resistance. The people around you respond to the energy of your words. If you want to attract mentors, partners, or clients, the first step is ensuring that your language reflects clarity, confidence, and possibility. The hook here is profound. Speaking positively does not just improve relationships. It positions you as a person who commands attention and inspires action. Now, consider the principle that words can open doors that skills alone cannot. You can have talent, expertise, and experience, but if your words undermine your confidence or create doubt in others, opportunities will be limited. Conversely, when you speak with conviction, vision, and clarity, doors begin to open. People trust, follow, and invest in those who communicate possibility. One carefully spoken idea, statement of confidence, or positive declaration can create partnerships, collaborations, and opportunities that could take years to earn otherwise. Your speech is not just communication, it is a tool for influence and impact. Here's another hook to grasp. Your words can inspire action even in situations where resources are limited. A declaration of faith, determination, or possibility can mobilize people, attract attention, and catalyze movement toward a goal. When you speak life over others, you empower them to act in ways they may not have considered. Influence through words is one of the most powerful, underestimated tools of wealth, leadership, and personal growth. That is why successful people guard their language carefully. They know that words can either build empires or destroy them. It's important to recognize that influence through speech is not manipulation. It is leadership in its purest form. Words create vision, instill courage, and shift perspective. When you consistently speak with intention, focusing on solutions and opportunities, your influence compounds over time. Those around you start to internalize your mindset, adopt your confidence, and align their efforts with your vision. Your words become a multiplier for action and results. Finally, remember this principle: your influence is directly proportional to the consistency, positivity, and clarity of your speech. Speaking life, encouragement, and possibility over others doesn't just benefit them, it creates a network of energy, opportunity, and support that propels you forward. The people you empower through words often become the very channels through which your own success expands. Words are not just sounds. They are seeds of influence. And the more intentional you are, the greater the harvest you can cultivate. The moment you begin to speak words that affirm your potential, your confidence grows, and with confidence comes action. Affirmation is not simply repeating nice phrases. It is the deliberate act of declaring what you intend to achieve and aligning your mind and environment with that vision. Most people underestimate this principle. They think motivation comes from external sources, but the real power is internal. The hook here is undeniable. Words you speak over yourself daily shape your mindset, prepare your behavior, and create momentum toward your goals. When you affirm what you are capable of achieving, you begin to operate differently, think differently, and act differently. Consider the difference between a person who says, "I will never succeed at this," and someone who declares, "I am capable of figuring this out and achieving it." The first person's brain searches for evidence to prove the negative statement, reinforcing fear, hesitation, and stagnation. The second person's brain begins scanning for opportunities, solutions, and creative ways to achieve the goal. That is the hook. Affirmation programs your mind for success in a way that sheer effort alone cannot. Words carry intention, and intention directs action. Words also influence your emotional state. Think about how you feel When someone speaks negatively about you, or when you constantly tell yourself negative things, you feel discouraged, doubtful, and hesitant. Now imagine the impact of speaking powerful, positive affirmations over yourself. I am resourceful. I am capable. I am creating opportunities. Your emotional state shifts instantly from fear to confidence, from hesitation to determination. That energy influences every decision you make, every action you take, and every opportunity you see. The hook here is simple words don't just change your mind. They change your energy, and your energy changes your reality. Affirmations also have a compounding effect. The more consistently you speak words of belief, capability, and vision, the more ingrained they become in your subconscious. Your subconscious mind controls 95% of your actions. That means if your subconscious is programmed with statements of limitation, you will unconsciously make choices that keep you stuck. But if it is programmed with statements of possibility, abundance, and courage, your choices naturally align with success. That is why wealthy and influential people speak affirmations daily. They understand that success is built internally before it manifests externally. Another hook is the power of speaking your goals into existence. Many people set goals mentally or on paper, but few verbalize them with conviction. When you declare your intention out loud, you create a vibration, a mental map, and a sense of accountability. Your brain begins seeking paths to align with the declaration. Opportunities, ideas, and resources begin to present themselves because your energy and focus are aligned with your spoken word. The universe responds to clarity and conviction expressed verbally. Words also serve as a shield against fear and doubt. Every time you affirm your capability and vision, you are training your mind to resist negativity and uncertainty. You are building resilience. You are training your mind to persist when challenges arise. And here is the hook. Those who consistently speak affirmations are far more likely to take decisive action, overcome obstacles, and seize opportunities because their internal dialogue supports courage rather than fear. Finally, affirmation is a multiplier of opportunity. It doesn't just affect your mindset, it shapes your behavior, your relationships, and your influence. Speaking confident, faith-filled words positions you to act in alignment with your purpose, attract support from others, and signals to the world that you are ready for breakthroughs. Words are not just sounds. They are tools of transformation. And the more intentional and consistent you are with them, the greater the impact they will have on your life. Every word you speak is like a seed planted in the soil of your life, and the soil grows whatever seed you consistently nurture. Many people speak without realizing that their words carry energy, direction, and potential consequences. Some seeds produce life, abundance, and opportunity, while others produce limitation, fear, and stagnation. Here's the first hook. The words you speak daily are silently shaping your destiny. Every negative comment, every self-limiting declaration, every fearful statement compounds over time, creating walls where doors could have been. Conversely, when you intentionally speak words of courage, faith, and vision, you are cultivating an environment where opportunities flourish and growth becomes inevitable. Consider the power of speaking victory over yourself, even when the circumstances are uncertain. Life will never hand you perfect conditions before success. Challenges, obstacles, and setbacks are inevitable. But your words have the power to shift the perception of those challenges into stepping stones. When you declare, I will overcome this, I am capable of success, or this is an opportunity in disguise, your mind begins to identify solutions, strategies, and paths forward. That is the hook. The moment you consciously choose words of empowerment, your brain starts working in alignment with possibility rather than limitation. Every successful person understands this principle. They don't just think positively, they speak positively. They declare their vision, their goals, and their potential with conviction. Words have the ability to align thought, belief, and action. If you repeatedly say, I can't, your body energy and focus align with failure. But if you repeatedly say, I am capable and prepared to succeed, you begin to operate from a place of confidence, clarity, and determination. The hook here is undeniable words are instructions to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind directs your behavior. Words also influence the energy you bring into every situation. Fear-filled, negative speech attracts resistance, doubt, and stagnation. Possibility, focused, confident words attract collaboration, creativity, and opportunity. Imagine speaking life over a project, a relationship, or a financial opportunity. Suddenly, you notice solutions that were invisible before. People respond positively, and doors begin to open. Your words are a magnet, attracting resources, allies, and ideas. That is the hook. The energy behind your words determines the kind of life you are building even before action is taken. Affirmations and intentional speech also serve as a protective mechanism. They guard your mind against fear, doubt, and the negative opinions of others. Life is full of naysayers, critics, and unexpected challenges. But the person who consistently speaks words of faith, courage, and possibility is resilient. Their words fortify their mind, focus their energy, and maintain momentum when others would falter. The hook here is simple. Speaking life over yourself is not wishful thinking. It is mental discipline that prepares you for action and breakthrough. Another powerful aspect of words is that they compound over time. A single statement may seem small, but repeated declarations create a mental blueprint. Your mind begins to believe the words you speak consistently, and your actions begin to align. You start to notice opportunities, take calculated risks, and create results that were impossible before. That is the hook. What you consistently say determines what you consistently experience. Finally, the words you speak influence not only yourself, but everyone around you. Speaking life over others multiplies your impact. Encouragement, positivity, and vision inspire action in those who hear you. Influence flows outward, creating a ripple effect that can open doors and build networks of support. Every seed you plant with your words has the potential to grow into an opportunity for yourself and those around you. Words are not just sounds. They are seeds of power, growth, and abundance. And when used intentionally, they create a life of success that is unstoppable. The most powerful tool you have in creating the life you desire is your ability to speak with intention. Intentional words create pathways where none seem to exist. Many people fail to realize that obstacles, challenges, and limitations are often not as permanent as they appear. They are amplified by the language you use about them. When you speak defeat, fear, and impossibility, you are building walls. When you speak possibility, faith, and solutions, you are building bridges. Here's the first hook: your words can make a way in situations that seem completely impossible. And this principle is what separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who remain stuck in mediocrity. Think about the moments in your life where a breakthrough seemed unimaginable. What if the difference between failure and success was the language you used to describe the situation? When you speak intentionally, you are setting a tone, creating focus, and aligning your subconscious with the reality you desire. Every declaration of faith, confidence, or vision is a blueprint for action. The hook here is undeniable. The clarity, specificity, and positivity of your words will determine the quality of the results you attract. Speak without purpose, and you wander. Speak with intention, and you navigate directly toward your goals. Intentional words also influence perception, both your own and those of others. When you articulate your intentions with confidence and clarity, people notice. Doors begin to open because others sense your alignment with success. When your words are deliberate, they signal belief, competence, and determination. Conversely, when your words are careless, fearful, or vague, opportunities can slip past unnoticed. That is the hook. Speaking with intention does not just impact your mindset, it impacts the reality and environment around you. Consider also how intentional speech shapes your behavior. When you declare what you intend to achieve, your brain begins to work in alignment with those declarations. Your focus sharpens, your decisions are guided by purpose, and your actions reflect the vision you have spoken. Intentional words create a feedback loop. You speak your goal, your mind focuses on making it real, and your actions follow suit, producing results that reinforce the initial declaration. The hook here is that speaking deliberately is not merely motivational. It is functional, strategic, and transformational. Another critical aspect is the ripple effect of intentional language. Every word you speak influences your relationships, your influence, and the energy you bring to situations. Speaking life, vision, and possibility over yourself and others creates momentum. People are naturally drawn to confidence, clarity, and solutions. When your words are intentional, you attract collaborators, mentors, and resources that accelerate your progress. That is the hook. Intentional speech multiplies opportunity by creating alignment between your energy, your environment, and the people around you. Intentional words also build resilience. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable. When you have cultivated the habit of speaking with purpose and focus, challenges do not derail you. Instead, your language reinforces your ability to persist, adapt, and overcome. Every intentional word acts as a reinforcement for courage, determination, and faith in your abilities. The hook here is profound. The words you choose in moments of challenge determine whether you stumble or soar. Finally, intentional words are a gateway to creating a life of influence and abundance. Every deliberate statement, every carefully chosen phrase has the power to unlock doors, shape perception, and align opportunities with your vision. By speaking with purpose, You move beyond reactive life patterns and step into proactive creation. The world responds to clarity, conviction, and consistent positive speech. When you master intentional language, you are not just communicating, you are creating, influencing, and paving the way for extraordinary results. Your words, when used intentionally, become one of the most powerful tools for success you will ever possess. So here's the ultimate takeaway. You have the ability to speak life into situations that seem impossible. You can speak opportunity into existence, break through barriers, and create pathways where there were only walls before. Every day, ask yourself, what words am I using? Are my words building my future, or are they burying it? Speak victory, speak faith, speak abundance, speak confidence, speak courage, and watch as your words begin to make a way for you, even when the way seems unclear.